What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 7 team builder for the aABL Season 4 in the Red League. This week we are taking on Andy and his Louisiana Larvitars. I'm filming this fairly early, basically the night of my match against Dom or Rudiger, who we took an unfortunate 1-0 loss to earlier. Very close match. I think my record would have looked a lot better at 3-3 than it does at 2-4, but we can still make playoffs. Excuse me. Andy is a divisional opponent. He was actually tied with me um, before my match against Dom. I don't know what his record is because I'm filming this so early. I also don't know if he's going to make any team changes, but I like cranking these recordings out while I have time and energy, and I still remember why I built things the way that I did. So that's the way we're going to do this. And yeah, so let's talk about Andy's team. He has Tapu Fini, Alolan Muck, Rotom Heat, Chestnut, Licky Licky, Honchkrow, Rhydon, Mega Scizor, Hydreigon, which is a Z user, Alakazam, which is a Z user, Golurk, which is a Z user, and Sigilyph. I'm not expecting Chestnut, Rhydon, or Golurk. Surprisingly, both of his ground types look absolutely horrific against my team. I have a really solid grass type that can switch into both of them really well, and Rotom-Wash, which can switch into both of them really well. And despite the fact that Rotom-Wash is my electric type, neither of them can deal with Rotom-Wash's secondary water typing, so I don't think they're coming. I think his Rotom-Wash sponge will be Chestnut or Alolan Muck, although I don't think Chestnut's coming either. I think Chestnut is god-awful against my team. I think Skarmory completely hardwalls it. You'll notice that we're not actually bringing Skarmory. I thought about bringing Skarmory. It's got an okay matchup defensively, although it does fall short in a few places. I think Rotom Heat pressures it a lot. Hydreigon can pressure it a lot. Things like Licky Licky can actually pressure it a lot, and Tapu Fini can just Calm Mind in front of it sometimes. So the things to be careful of. He does have a few setup options, and I'm not bringing any Whirlwind tech because I'm not bringing Skarmory, but I'm a little bit too scared with the Rotom Heat. Excuse me. Just because my team gets hit by fire and electric really well. I think Rotom Heat's 100% coming. I would be very shocked to not see Rotom Heat. I would also be very happy to not see Rotom Heat, to be honest with you. Mega Scizor, well, actually, let's go back in order. I think Tapu Fini is a probably. Tapu Fini is not a fantastic mon in draft format from what I've found. I'm not a huge fan of it in general, and I don't think it's got the best matchup against my team. It can do well against things like Weavile. It's actually a really good Weavile wall. But so is Mega Scizor. Pardon the yawns, it only comes out when I'm talking a lot. It's a good girder wall, it's a good... That's about it, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That's about it. Maybe Incineroar to an extent. So that's kind of Tapu Fini's purpose. I think Alolan Muck is coming for sure. It's basically his only special wall on the entire team. Yeah, it's his only special sponge unless he wants to run like a Spadef Licky Licky against me, which could make a lot of sense. I don't have the best ways to break a Licky Licky. Outside of Girder, I don't get the best fighting coverage. I have to rely on things like Focus Blast from Mega Gardevoir, Low Kick, Brick Break, those kind of things. I could be ballsy and run a Cross Chop on Incineroar, for example, but as you'll see when we get to Incineroar, I'm not doing that because it's an 80% accurate move, and those are bad. Rotom Heat, again, I think is coming. Chestnut, I don't think is coming, especially because I think that he's going to expect Skarmory to come, which completely threatens and walls the Chestnut, as well as gets rid of Chestnut's hazards, so it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Oh, shit, I forgot to talk about that. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Licky Licky, I think, is a hard maybe. I think it's got a decent matchup against me. I'm not sure how he would build Licky Licky. Licky Licky's a very versatile mon. On that team, it functions more so as wish support rather than being able to have any offensive moments. But I know from my extensive use of Licky Licky that it can be a belly drum setup sweeper or an SD sweeper. Oh god, excuse me. I think something like a Belly Drum Slackberry set could be kind of neat. He doesn't have to run Cloud9 against me, obviously, because I don't have a weather team. So it's in there. Honchkrow I've never actually faced in League format before, and I don't think it's that great of a Pokemon in League format, but it does get Sucker Punch, and it can hit relatively hard with like Scopeland, Super Luck, Night Slash. That's guaranteed crits every single time. I don't know. I think it's got an okay match against me, so he might bring it. Like Incineroar switches in on it for free basically every single time. You know, Girder can actually pick it up with a Mach Punch. Weavile can pick it up with an Ice Shard and things like that. That all go. Well, Ice Shard would go before Sucker Punch. Excuse me. If he's scared of Dusclops, then he's bringing it, or he's bringing Hydra. One of the two. I think you'd rather bring Hydreigon against Dusclops than Honchkrow. That's just me. I don't really see a place for Honchkrow on any team, personally. Especially when you already have another Dark type and another Flying type that, in my opinion, are both better than it. But there you go. Rhydon I don't think is coming, although it could be relatively useful. It gets bopped by Serena and Rotom-Wash. I don't think it's going to make it. Even a Spidef Rhydon dies to no investment Rotom-Wash's Hydro Pump. Thanks to Jed for that calc, by the way. Mega Scizor is 100% coming. It's his way to revenge kill my Mega Gardevoir, for which he really only has Rotom Heat and Mega Scizor as sponges for. Everything else gets absolutely blown back by Mega Gardevoir, which we'll talk about when I get there. Hydreigon, I think, is a maybe / probably coming. The thing is that it has to run Scarf against me, because otherwise Mega Gardevoir revenge kills it or just outright kills it instantly with Hyper Voice. He could try and run Roselli Berry, but then he still has to rely on like Flash Cannon. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't reliably deal with my team well enough, I don't think. He can run a bunch of coverage moves, and Dark is not a very spammable type against my team. I don't know. We'll see. Alakazam I do think is coming. I think it makes a reasonable amount of sense. I'm not sure how reasonable, considering I have things like Weavile that can easily Pursuit Trap it, but I do think that it's a high possibility of it coming. Golurk, again, I don't think is coming. If it does come, then it's kind of just in my benefit, because I have good Dark types that deal with it as well, and I also have a really good Water type and a really good Grass type. Sigilyph I do think is coming, because it kind of bodies my Grass type for the most part. However, Rotom-Wash plus my Dark types kind of body it as well. So I think overall I have a relatively safe matchup. I think there's a few things I can count on coming. Sorry, a couple things I can count on coming, and that being, three, Alolan Muck, Rotom Heat, and Mega Scizor. I am going to confidently say those are 100% coming to this match. The rest of them are kind of up in the air, although I have a lower priority on things like Chestnut, Rhydon, and Golurk, which I don't think make a ton of sense against my team. So that kind of leaves the other 6 thrown up in the air, and then he can just like pick the 3 that fit best with what he's got. Yeah, so he's got priority in Alolan Muck with Shadow Sneak, Honchkrow with Sucker Punch, and Scizor with Bullet Punch. He has Hazard setting in Chestnut with Spikes, Rhydon with Stealth Rock, Golurk with Stealth Rock. He has removal options in Tapu Fini with Defog, Rotom Heat with Defog, Honchkrow with Defog, Scizor with Defog, Hydreigon with Defog, and Sigilyph with Defog. He's got quite a few Defoggers. I guarantee Defog is coming, especially because I have things like a Selgor. I actually have 3 T-Spikers on this team, which would be good outside of Alolan Muck. It would be really nice to get T-Spikes up, except for the fact he's got a Steel type, 2 Flying types, and a Levitator, so T-Spikes actually are not good against his team, besides Misty Terrain, which I'm not sure how that mechanic works still. Yeah, and he has 3 4x weaknesses, Chestnut to Flying, Mega Scizor to Fire, and Hydreigon to Fairy. If I had a Mold Breaker Mon, I would mention that Rotom Heat is 4x weak to Ground, but I do not have a Mold Breaker Mon to abuse that fact. I could skill swap it, and then it would be 4x weak to Ground, but it doesn't even matter because I don't have a Ground type anyways because I got rid of Flygon. So, yeah, anyways, let's get into our team, I guess. Oh crap, I definitely didn't make a note of what I was faster than and stuff like that, so we're kind of just going to wing it. That's something I really should have looked at. So, we're running Tangenberry Serena with Max HP, Max Defense, Impish. This is our primary switch into Mega Scizor. If he's like an SD variant, then we can Endeavor it and kill it with something else, is essentially where I'm at with that. I maybe should have run a little. You know what? I'm actually gonna change this last minute. So really quickly here, we're just gonna find Scizor Mega last minute edit 186. Whoops, sorry if you guys saw that. I'd rather invest in the defense. 187. There we go. So we're running now. Now that I've got this down, I'm actually gonna write it down for myself as well. So sorry if you hear my clacky keyboard. So now we're outrunning No Investment Mega Scizor, which I think is really good. We already would have outran No Investment Honchkrow by 1 point. Not that really matters. With a ton of HP and defense. U-turn, Endeavor, Knockoff, and Rapid Spin. The Tank Berry is there to eat like an SD Bug Bite. We can chomp that up and then Endeavor him back. That's kind of the play. With Serena, does not get any fire moves. I thought about running like HJK, or sorry, High Jump Kick, which would hit him the best. But I really wanted Endeavor on there instead, and I ended up taking off something that I can't remember for Rapid Spin, just in case he does bring like Spike Stacking Chestnut or Rocks on Rhydon or Golurk or something like that. I don't really think he's got the best hazard options against me. I actually think that all three of his hazard setters are horrific matchups, but I thought Rapid Spin just in case. I am bringing Stealth Rocks of my own, so just to maybe get rid of his and keep mine on the field or something like that, who knows. Knockoff is there just for some really good utility. I think Rotom Heat is a really safe switch into Serena, and so knocking that off could be useful. Same with Chestnut. I think it's a relatively safe switch in just because of how physically defensive it is. And Honchkrow as well, I think, is a Honchkrow and Sigilyph both, so that's where Knockoff is there for. U-turn for just some momentum to get out. I can possibly just lead with Serena and do that. Again, we're blocking his priority options in Honchkrow and Scizor, but Honchkrow threatens us out with like a Brave Bird anyways. Yeah, so that's Serena, and next up is Nidoking, which we are running a Life Orb breaking set, which makes a lot of sense against his team because his team is very slow. I haven't touched on this yet, but he only has one Mon above base 100, and that is Alakazam. Everything else is lower than that, and he's got a lot in the 80 to 90 range. Sorry, 80 to 98 range, I guess. So Nidoking can deal with anything at its speed or lower. Tapu Fini gets absolutely wrecked by a Life Orb Sludge Wave, so I'm not super scared of that. What else is slower? We'll outspeed like No Investment Rotom Heat, for example. Mega Scizor we're going to outspeed, Honchkrow we're going to outspeed. Excuse me, Golurk we're outspeeding, Licky we're outspeeding, Alolan Muck we're outspeeding, Chestnut we're outspeeding. So it's quite a large portion of his team. The only things that outspeed us would be Max Speed Rotom Heats, Hydreigon, Alakazam, and Sigilyph. I'm not super duper scared of Hydreigon. I don't think that can OHKO me necessarily. I am more scared of the Alakazam and the Sigilyph. Those are big threats to my Nidoking. As you saw in the game against Dom, where I got bopped by another Psychic from a Genie. They're just teching it on just for my Nidoking, which is hilarious. Maybe for the Girder too, but no, you wouldn't do that on Tornadus for Girder because you're a flying type already. So, anyways, that's what's there. that's in the past now. Sludge Wave again, it beats the Tapu Fini. It just demolishes the Chestnut. It's my best move to hit the Rotom Heat with. Outside of like Rock Slide, it's my best move to hit the Hydreigon with. My best move to hit the Honchkrow with. Outside of Ice Beam, which I didn't feel was a fantastic matchup this game for me, since Sludge Wave already did more to the Chestnut than Ice Beam was going to, I didn't feel like I needed to bring Ice Beam for Honchkrow, Hydreigon, and Sigilyph. I thought that I could make better use of that slot with Stealth Rocks, because Sludge Wave hits all of them for neutral damage, which is still going to be tons. Flamethrower is there only for the Mega Scizor, and that's basically because it walled me otherwise. And Earth Power is there for the Alolan Muck primarily, although it also is there for the Rhydon. And I guess technically the Golurk. It'll do the most damage to the Golurk as well now. So I wanted Rocks to deal with the Rotom Heat. I also want to find out if the Sigilyph is Magic Guard or not. I want to get some chip damage on the Honchkrow, and just good chip damage in general against this team is really helpful. He has one Rock Resist, and that is is 2 Rock Resists in Chestnut and Golurk. Again, neither of which I think are coming, so that's kind of there. And if I can catch something switching out at some point, then I can get my rocks up. I don't necessarily foresee myself ever clicking rocks this game. I think Nidoking clicking Sludge Wave and clicking buttons is just my best way to win this game. Max speed, 2 speeds out with Finny, and we've got max special attack on there. Next up is a Mega Gardevoir. We're running Synchronize this week instead of Trace. I felt like Synchronize was going to be better potentially for like an Alolan. Well, it wouldn't affect the Alolan Muck, but excuse me. Potentially like a Rotom Heat Will-O-Wisping me or something like that. Psycho Boost from Sigilyph, something, I don't know, something along those lines. I just really didn't need Trace against this team. I don't need Overgrow or Bulletproof or whatever. I don't need Super Luck or Insomnia. I don't need any of those abilities to switch in on. It was very useful potentially against something like Vaporeon against Dom, because then I switch in on the Vaporeon, get the Water Absorb, then I'm immune to the attack. But you know, there you go. Hyper Voice demolishes his team. Like I said, he has 2 resists in Rotom Heat and Mega Scizor. They're both reasonable resists just because of Rotom Heat's natural bulk and Mega Scizor's typing. The Rotom Heat's typing as well, but you know, I wouldn't expect Rotom Heat to tank a Hyper Voice as well as the Calc said it did. I'm running HP Fire for the Scizor, and I'm running Psychic on there for the Rotom Heat, is essentially what it's there for. I could have run something else, but I decided against it. Psychic will also hit the Chestnut really well, although Hyper Voice can hit that better. And Psychic gets blocked by Alolan Muck, so I thought about running Focus Blast instead, but I'd rather have the consistency of Psychic to be able to hit the Rotom Heat. This is kind of an Alolan Muck lure to an extent. I kind of just want to get a hit off on it, and then he can Pursuit me. He won't kill me with Pursuit, so I can come back in on it later, and then if he brings an Alolan Muck on it again, then I can Destiny Bond and take the Alolan Muck with me, which could be really useful for a few of my special attackers in the late game. We're running a lot of speed on here. You can't tell because I'm not in Mega Form in the Teambuilder, but we are outrunning... crap, I didn't write this down. We're outrunning Hydreigon. We are outrunning Hydreigon. Mega Guard at speeds. Hydra. Actually, while I'm at it, Nidoking ties Finny. Yeah, max special attack with all that, and then just a little bit in HP, because that's kind of, I want to take hits on both sides. Maybe we'll live a hit from Mega Scizor, I doubt it. Gardevoir doesn't have very great defenses, it's more of a specially defensive Pokemon. Next up is Incineroar, bringing a Assault Vested variant with Intimidate. This can actually switch into Mega Scizor relatively well, although it's meant more so to switch into Muck, I would say. Excuse me, I'm not running Earthquake on it, but that's kind of what its kind of what its primary goal is to an extent. It's more of a Hydreigon switch-in, to be completely honest, and a Sigilyph switch-in. U-turn just for some momentum. Fire Blast is there to hit the Mega Scizor. It's going to hit it harder than Flare Blitz would, and I'd rather not take the recoil damage. Darkest Lariat is there for the Sigilyph. It's there for the Rotom Heat. It's there for the Golurk, it's there for the Alakazam. It's going to hit a few things relatively well, like the Rhydon. It's not a resistant hit for the Rhydon, and I'm not lowering my attack. Excuse me, and then Superpower is there for the Hydreigon. It's there for the Licky primarily. It's there for the Rhydon, kind of, and it's there to hit the Alolan Muck as well if I need to. I needed a nuke against the Licky because otherwise it can kind of just sit in front of my face all day, so I'm not a huge fan of that, but we're running Brave so that we don't minimize our special attacks, so that we can actually OHKO Mega Scizor with the spread. And I'm actually still outspeeding Min Speed Licky with this by 4 points, so I'm not super against that idea. Max stack Brave with almost max HP. Lord, please forgive me. Yeah, so now comes the spice. So we're bringing Specs Accelwar with Sticky Hold, because he does have a few knockoff users. Muck, Licky, I think Honchkrow gets it, Mega Scizor gets it, Golurk might get it, so I'd rather keep my choice specs. although it will still do the bonus damage to me. U-Turn, Bug Buzz, Sludge Bomb, and HP Fire. This is almost perfect coverage for his team. I thought about having Water Shuriken over U-Turn, and then it would be perfect coverage against his team, in my opinion. This thing punches a hole in his squad, actually. Specs Assaultware does a lot of damage. I'm a big Assaultware fan. I have been since LAT Season 1, which is on the channel, and you can watch that whole season, or most of the season, if you'd like. Bug Buzz just demolishes a few things. Sludge Bomb is there to hit the Finny, which is his Bug Buzz. It's there to hit the Finny and the Rotom Heat, which are his Bug Buzz resists. HP Fire is there for the Mega Scizor. U-Turn if I just want to kind of bait something to come in and get out of there and see what his switch into my Assaultware is. You'll notice this is the third U-Turner of the game already, and Rotom's obviously carrying Volt Switch, so I've got a really good Volt Turn core this game, and I'm a huge fan of that. So max special attack Modest with 188 speed lets us outrun his entire team. We're outspeeding Alakazam with this investment. Sorry, we're actually not because of HP Fire. What? That doesn't make any sense. Wait, what? That was weird how it reset my IVs to HP Fire IVs for a sec there. Yeah, so we're outspeeding regular Alakazam by 1 point with this, and we're hitting his team ridiculously hard with Choice Specs, Modest, Bug Buzz, and Sludge Bomb, and HP Fire and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. Slugware is a really fun mon. He can run Bulletproof Chestnut and block my Sludge Bomb. I don't know if he will. I don't know if it's worth it to run Bulletproof against my team. I wonder if Overgrow is maybe a little bit better, because I'm not sure what else you'd be blocking. Maybe like a Shadow Ball from Dusclops or Gardevoir. But in Gardevoir's case, I'm just going to be clicking other buttons against, like Hyper Voice against him. So who knows? Who knows? I would rather just click Bug Buzz against the Chestnut anyways. Last but not least is Rotom-Wash, which has a fantastic matchup against his team. So we're bringing a Scarf variant to make sure that we outspeed everything. Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, and Trick. Volt Switch, it's basically free. Again, I don't see Golurk or Rhydon coming at all, so I can kind of just lead with this in Volt Switch turn 1. Hydro Pump is there in case he does bring Golurk and Rhydon. It's also a good way to handle the Rotom-Wash, and kind of a big nuke attack if I need it. Thunderbolt is there, which would hit a lot of things better. It'll also be more consistent damage, but it's mostly there for the Tapu Fini if I actually need to nuke the Tapu Fini. Same with like the Mega Scizor or Honchkrow kind of things. I'm running Trick on there in case I have to trick something. I can also trick something like the Alolan Muck, a Choice Scarf, which would be kind of cool, although I'd rather keep the Scarf myself in case he's running like a Scarf, his own Scarf Rotom, to be honest with you. That's kind of what I'm keeping around for. Yeah, because his can just spam electric moves against me. Although I do have Nidoking, so maybe he can't, but I'm wary to send out Nidoking. Nidoking is the team kill leader. It's got 8 kills at this point in the season, and I'd rather not see it die so early when it has such a good matchup every single week, basically. We're running Timid Max Speed to speed tie with Rotom Heat if it's coming. Sorry, if that's necessary. We'll also outspeed Max Speed Tapu Fini by 3 points, which is, you know, that's something too. Max Special Attack to get the most out of our special moves, and then I just pop the last 4 into defense because I think it'll be reasonably important to be able to live something like a Bullet Punch or a Night Slash. So that's kind of what it's there for. Anyways, that's the team and my thoughts on the team. This has been extremely long, and there have been a ton of yawns, especially considering we don't even know if Andy's changing his team ahead of my match or what his record is going to be going into it. I've kind of rambled a little bit. I talked a little bit too much about what I thought he was bringing, maybe. But anyways, keep tuned for the battle, and I will catch you guys for Week 7 against Andy and the Louisiana Larvitars.